Now for something completely different.
Hey, been trying to meet you. Ooh, hey, there must be a devil between us, or horse in my head, horse at the door, whore in my bed. But hey, where have you been? If you go, I will surely die. We're chained. We're chained. We're chained. We're chained. Chained. We're chained. We're chained. We're chained. We're chained.
So, that's not helpful. Do we know what's going on?
Mike, you want to use the mic?
I mean, I've heard this song a million times on headphones and stuff, and it sounds fine. I'm just trying to figure out why this song sounds so weird. I've heard this song on my headphones and so forth, so I know it's not. I pressed the thing.
He's paying attention. He's a radio guy, right?
We're chained.
Oh, no. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to have a conversation with you because, yeah, if we can, hopefully the next song doesn't do that. I don't know what's going on. So for those who didn't know, well, first of all, can I introduce you? Would probably be the best thing to do. So the group is called spaceMüs.
spaceMüs.
Mike, did I get that right? It's S-P-A-C-E-M-U with umlauts over it and an S. And this is Jeremy Gorman, yes?
Yes, that's me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for those who don't know, that's a song by the Pixies from 30 years ago that you and your Moose people have
Yes,
redone.
obviously that's not me singing.
That's right. And so I have a couple of thoughts about it, but why don't you tell me a little about spaceMüs
spaceMüs.
and
So
who's singing?
it's an interesting story. I spent a lot of my life as a musician and many years as a working musician, and trying to make it like anybody else in the business. Back before any of this kind of thing started, there was no DIY in those days. But I had a daughter 30 years ago, a little over 30 years ago, and it became increasingly hard to be both a musician and a father. So I eventually made the decision that the music would have to take a back seat. I really wanted to be involved in my daughter's life. Fast forward 30 years later, she's living in LA now. She's a visual artist, wonderful visual artist. Calls me up and says, you know what, I'd really like to do the song I Want You, She's So Heavy by the Beatles. And I said, oh, really? Wait, with me? You want to do music with your father?
I love
Sure enough, that was a little over a year ago. Well, not quite a year ago. And so we started doing some music together, some of it original, some of it covers. We have kind of a unique take, as you can tell from the Pixie song, how we see other people's music too, what touches us and what we bring to it. And about 6 months ago, we put this out, and we've put out a few songs since. That's kind of our story.
For songwriters, I'm trying to think. Well, first of all, I love the fact that I didn't realize that that was your daughter. I knew, yeah. So I want to understand, and for songwriters who write, like, what is it that makes a song? And I wish we could have heard it better. What is it that makes a song that's 30 years old live? Like, I mean, your daughter is how old now?
30.
So, right? So
Yeah.
she's 0 when it's out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? She didn't know Kim Deal. She probably doesn't know,
Oh, she's very well versed in all of that. And she was raised in a household where there's all kinds of music.
Uh-huh.
Everything from Bach to Miles Davis to the Pixies to you name it. And this was a song that was very meaningful to her. I had actually not heard this song before.
Oh, wow.
So she sent it to me, and I listened to it.
Isn't
I
that
don't know if you've heard
beautiful?
the original,
Yeah.
but it's very spare.
Can we just try to play the original just for a minute and actually just to see if the sound is actually working, if it was just the one little piece? I'm going to play this.
Hey, been trying to meet you.
It's the one Pixie song that there's actually a hint of R&B to, which is not a Pixie thing in general.
Whores in my head, whores at the door, whore in my bed. But hey,
So figures there's place.
Right.
But but no, when I heard that, the first thing that struck me was, it's almost has an atonal quality to it, and it's very open. But the emotional aspect of it is right up front. I mean, you can feel the pain just hearing it. So, of course, I thought, well, it needs to start with a string quartet and end as a full-on grunge song by the chorus, And it just came together very quickly. I think maybe we spent 10 hours at most recording, mixing, and mastering that song before we put it out.
Let me see if I can go to the middle of your version of the song to see if maybe it'll sound better, because I want people to get an idea of what you did here. Turn it up just a little
sit
bit.
the man to the lady.
I can't take credit for the recording.
Right, yeah, sorry, here we go. I was wondering
And the whores like a choir go hot all night. And Mary, ain't you tired of this one? Is the sound that the mother makes when a baby breaks. We're
So how did your daughter and you work on, how did you two work on this? Would you long distance, or were you in the
Yeah,
same?
so I live in Santa Rosa, which is just north of San Francisco. My daughter lives in LA. In fact, she'd be here today, but she's literally moving from one apartment to another. So what our process is, on this song in particular, but it's indicative of other songs we do, is she says, hey, I've got this idea for this song, sends it to me. If I don't already know it, I listen to it, kind of think about what we might do. I'll do a quick demo of it, which I did with this, and send it to her and say, what do you think about this? In this particular case, all the tracks that you're hearing here, if you can hear them, are all the original scratch tracks I did for the demo. And usually, I'd go back and say, okay, we'll redo the guitar part, we'll redo the strings, whatever the case might be. In this case, it was not that way at all. I mean, it just came really fast. So sent it to her, she liked it. We have a drummer we work with who's part of spaceMüs, a guy named Ian Luke. And so I call up Ian and say, hey, let's go into, there's a practice place not far from us. Went in there with my iPad, recorded his drums, flew those back into the track. I went down to LA, went to Bedrock, LA, thank you, Bedrock, LA, and recorded her vocals there, mixed it, and we were done.
That's awesome. So what do you think makes a song endure like that? What do you think's in the heart and soul of this that somebody who's of a different generation came to love?
Well, I think what really transcends generation, transcends that probably for all of us, is that we're touched emotionally by what we hear. So, why is it a Bach piece would touch somebody in 2019? I mean, it was written in a century we can't even relate to. So it's that emotional quality that goes into the song originally. When I heard that Pixie song, the first thing that hit me was just how heartbreaking it was,
Right.
regardless of whether the genre was one that I would normally be drawn to. I was immediately hit by that. And why I went with ukulele and a string quartet, I don't know. But that's just what occurred to me.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you, Jeremy Gorman.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Great. We appreciate it.
Love your show, too.
Thank you.